Good morning, everybody.
Morning.
Welcome to this week's meeting of Essex Business Forum. I'm Aidan Squire, I'm your weekly chairman. I try to get you through the agenda as best I can, and in that I am normally assisted by the leadership team, such as are here. Please be standing. Introduce yourselves.
It won't take long, apparently.
Yeah.
Jane Mannion, Membership Committee Chairperson.
And thank you, Scott, your meeting secretary.
And I'm standing in for Ben, and we'll be doing his introductions. Please be seated. Thank you for exposing yourselves to the meeting in the moment of speaking. Right, today we have an exciting meeting. We have the sunshine, which is great. We have Tina, who is the closest to a bit of sunshine here. She's visiting. Welcome, Tina. And there is a very important announcement I want to make. The passage of time, the passage of years, we all age. Leanne has. She's 50 on Saturday.
No way.
Yes. We're all surprised, but so many on behalf of all of us, many happy returns. Right. With those stimulating thoughts in our mind, let's move to the meeting. And as always, it's the performance leaders who's first. Scott.
Yes, so 3 weeks recorded in a month. Today, your last chance to change the numbers as they stand. Top few positions are very tightly contested. 275 points. Third place is 276 points. Second place is Aidan Squire. 279 points. First place is Paul Corrigan. So already, the 15 points just for turning up is pushed Paul down into at least fourth. And there's less than one referral in it between these guys, or just, commenting on the blog would change it. So there you go. There's your points. All to play for at the top.
Very much. Thank you, Scott. Education presentation. Catherine.
Good morning, everybody. Oh dear, shouldn't have had that tune before I came. So last week's Synergy meeting was about top tips for giving an effective presentation. And whilst Jane provided us with many an inspirational idea, the conversation ended up being more about our listening skills than our presenting skills. We spent 70 to 80% of our day communicating, with over 50% of that time spent listening, yet we retain only about 25 to 50% of what is said. So at school, until very recently, students were assessed for speaking and listening in English. Sadly, it's been renamed spoken language, which is perhaps indicative of the fact that we live in a society increasingly unable to listen. So as EDF largely exists in order for us to refer business to one another, our ability to listen is arguably our most important skill. So it's worth reflecting on how we can be good listeners. You have to forgive me if this sounds really teachery and bossy, but the message came up last week and it was agreed that this needs to be shared with the whole group. So firstly, even the best multitasker can't listen effectively if they are talking at the same time. The great thing about EDF is that we all get a chance to speak. The word listen is an anagram of silent, for good reason. Secondly, make eye contact. There's nothing more demoralising than reading out a presentation that you spent ages preparing and looking at a sea of bent heads. If your listeners are looking at you, it encourages you that you're actually being interesting. Next, avoid distracting gadgets. It's really rude and disrespectful to be on your phone while someone is speaking to the group. We wouldn't tolerate employees in a meeting getting their phones out. I certainly wouldn't have tolerated it in a classroom, and most of us, I don't think, would tolerate it at the dinner table with our own families. So why would we think it was acceptable here? If you struggle to ignore your phone, try putting it on Do Not Disturb or turn it off. Next, try to give feedback. In the 60-second presentation, obviously there wouldn't be time for us to give verbal feedback, but we can all give feedback by smiling, nodding, even laughing when appropriate. If you struggle to stay focused, which is fair enough at this time of the morning, try some of these techniques. Firstly is to make notes. If you're awarding the Oscar, then usually you do make notes, and this can really help you tune in more fully. If you try writing down the 2 most important things that someone said, it's going to help focus your listening, and apparently doing this by hand is more effective than doing it on your phone. Doodling with purpose can also help, because it allows your brain to stay engaged without overloading it. You could do some discreet fidgeting. A rubber band, for example, a bit of foot tapping can help. Even a fidget toy, if you want to suggest a few of those that I've recommended over the years. These can provide an outlet for your restlessness. Eating a mint, apparently, it helps us to stay alert. And this is something I've read about, but I've never tried. Try some active grounding. If you bring your mind back to the moment by concentrating on physical sensations like feeling the floor under your feet or the table under your hands. So I leave you with some great words by the author Maya Angelou. He said, "Nothing I say this day will teach me anything. So if I'm going to learn, I must do it by listening." Very much.
Thank you very much, Catherine. I hope you don't have to foot tap or anything. We're also entertaining. I would mention one thing. The script I have for presenting this meeting, I had about 15 years ago when I first started. And number 3 says, "Welcome to this week's meeting. Before we get started, may I ask you to please ensure your mobile phones are switched off or silenced for the duration of the meeting." Because that's how we viewed it then. Phones are used to take photographs and they do help in blogs and things like that. But treat that as also a warning not to fiddle with your phones. But that's fine. Thank you very much, Catherine, for that. Terry's not with us this week again. She's back next week when we will be overwhelmed with membership matters, no doubt. We approach, therefore, the 60-second round. Let me do it by, as usual, passing around the box for bits of paper. The business card box. Make sure you're adequately represented. Take cards that you might need in order to effect introductions. And that leaves us with, really, the round itself, which I want to get underway. Jane won the Oscar. She will be listening out and awarding this week's at the end of the meeting. And with Toby as our bellman for today, I'd like to get things underway. If Jane would like to go first, I'll be followed by Joshua. Let's see where that takes us. You're off, Jane.
Thank you. Hello everybody, Jane from the English Green Tea Company. I have a sorry saga to tell you. So, Roger's mummy was an interesting lady, and she absolutely adored our firstborn child, Edward. When it came to George, not quite so much.
Oh.
And after they visited, she'd call them over and she'd give Edward £1 and she'd give George 5 pence, which I maintain is against the grandma law. And obviously we tell George, "Oh, your money's at home, we'll give it, we make it up for him." If you are sending out one of our English green tea treats, it will be received with wholehearted thanks. It will be sent and made with love. There will be nothing about the £1 to 5p about it. It will be something sent from you with all your best wishes. We'll make it in that vein and we'll deliver it in that vein. So if you've got the grandma George thing in mind, don't come to us because we'll ruin it for you. The English Green Tea Company delivering.
Thank you, Jane.
You're welcome.
Joshua, you're next, and you're followed by Mike.
Right, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I just want to share something cool that I did last night. So last night I was at the House of Commons. And that's because of the work I've done with one of the charities that I work with. So I've helped them refurb their centre that they use to help keep young people out of gangs. My role in particular was to contract manage the builder. And with me doing that, the building programme only overran by 4 months. It's supposed to be a 3-month programme. And it only went over budget by 10 grand. But the reason why I'm showing this is that obviously it's a very interesting thing to do, and I've always talked about adding value. or unlocking the value of my properties and land. And with that, there was a financial value that was unlocked, but there was also just the fact that it was an enabler for the work that they're doing. So if you have clients or friends that would like to work with someone who can unlock value in lots of forms, then tell them to get in touch with Joshua from JDC Studio. Thank you.
Actually, Joshua, when you think of the government projects, bloody quick ones. Right, Mike, you're next.
Oh, not following. Morning, Mike from Blackwater Media. So, as the saying goes, sun's out, drones out. That's it, right. A little bit of participation. Who here plays golf? Hands up to play golf? Yeah. So, who here knows someone that plays golf?
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, so just looking for introductions, anyone in that sort of line of the industry, of your golf course managers, anyone running those sort of events. Obviously, drones work fantastically for it. Now the weather is brightening up, you get really nice shots of the new courses and that. But I can also offer like all the interior sides of things, like they often have restaurants, cafes, spas, and things like that. We can do like walkarounds off the course with some of the pros, and also really good for testimonials from people that play at different courses and do video examples of that. It's just a nice industry to get into. So if you know anyone involved in that sort of thing, please put me in touch. And on a very similar sort of note, wedding venues and those type of events. I don't do weddings, like I mentioned, but I do shoot wedding venues and do like the aerial shots and that sort of thing. So anyone that needs their websites updating, please pass them my way. Thank you.
Thank you, Mike. Stuart, you're next, and you're followed by Sarah.
Morning, everybody. Stuart from Brentwood Networks. I'm the artist at the moment. It's incredibly busy at the moment. Actually, we're kind of booking work now from sort of like September onwards. But what we did get this week, or last week, Simpson's Tavern in Cornhill. If everybody knows that, it's an old restaurant dates back to 1757. We've been awarded a project to refurbish that building and do the. We're going to be doing all the data infrastructure. We're going to be doing the internet service, manage Wi-Fi system throughout. We're also going to do some radio communication in there. It's just a fascinating building. One of those buildings you go down like 3 basement levels underground. You've got to crawl through the tunnels to go to the cold stores out the back. Fascinating project. And I look forward to telling you more about that as we go along. So Stuart from Mills Networks.
Thank you, Stuart. As you're working, put your back in it.
Yes.
Sarah next. Lee follows.
Good morning, everybody. Sarah from Brentwood Assistant Services. So this week I'll give you an example of what I actually do. What do I do? I'm working for a really growing business as their practical COO, and they need to hire somebody. Now, hiring someone is a really important decision for anybody. It carries a lot of risk if you get the wrong person or you do it wrong. It seems quite simple. I don't know, go to a recruitment agent, send me some people, but actually the steps involved are much more detailed than that. So this week I've drawn up a hiring plan, which involves helping them write a job spec. What do they want this person to do? What skills and experience do they need them to have? How are they going to find out if they've actually got them? I've helped them with their advertising decisions. Are they going to an agency? Are they going online? Which platforms are they using? How much does it cost? I've helped them draft their application forms, so setting up the questions. How's it going to work? Are they putting it on their website? How do they do that? Screening the CVs. How do you prove what are you looking for? What are the scoring matrices that you're working through? Candidate management, interview questions, compliance, contracts, HR systems, references. This is an entire piece of work that is really important for people. So if you know anybody that's growing, you need some help with that, please let me know.
Thank you, Sarah. Blake, you're followed by Tim.
Morning, everyone. I thought this week I'd let you all know what I've been playing with. So this week I've been trying to get working window contacts on my windows. So my heating turns off when the windows are open. So rooms don't heat up unnecessarily. So if a window's open, the wires are heater tells the boiler not to heat that room. Save me energy. Alongside that, I've also been setting up calendar integrations for my kids' homework. So if they've got homework that's due, their TVs won't play. Making sure it's done. So until their homework's done, they won't be able to watch their telly. Which every time they go to their bedroom and do their homework, I hear the telly on. So this week I've been playing with that and said how I can really annoy them. So if anyone wants to annoy their children with their homework, let me know. Thank you.
Turkey, you're followed by Catherine.
Hi everyone. Most people become self-employed for freedom, but they end up creating a job for themselves. If you stop, does your business stop or slow down? You need to ask yourself that. If that's the case, it's not a business, it's a dependency, and you don't own your business owns you. Life happens, family issues, health, time, can you step away without everything stalling? I've been able to do that recently, fortunately. So my ask today is, who do you know that's stuck in their business, that's not running it, that the business is running them? Can they switch off when they need to? So I'd love to have a conversation with them. Thanks very much.
Thanks, Toby. Catherine.
So I'm about to go into a very busy period the next couple of months, judging by last year. I've got lots of extra sessions over the holidays, worried parents, panicking students, but I'm expecting a massive lull over the summer. So I've got 7 students waiting to start in June, but judging by last year, most of them won't actually want tuition much over the summer holidays, which leaves me with a period of potential poverty. This will be an excellent time to take on more writing work to help you and people you know update your web content with new blogs, case studies and articles. So if you think your website needs a bit of content boost, please consider asking me to help, saving me from regressing to my university days by having to get so much work. Okay?
Catherine. Clara, you're followed by Scott.
Morning, Clara Downton Mortgages and Financial Services. Well, last week I said it was a little insane. It got a little bit more insane. Bank of England held rates last Thursday, which a lot of people would think, okay, that means nothing changes. But the issue was that the Bank of England originally had said that they thought they would reduce rates, and therefore all the banks have priced this into what they think is going to happen. Therefore, a lot of things change. But that wasn't just the thing. Apparently, Mr. Trump decided to say on Thursday that he was potentially going to own gas mains and things like this. Well, that had an even bigger impact on the mortgage market, because what then the banks are really worried about is inflation. And what's that going to do to inflation? And therefore, basically on Friday, 1/5 of the mortgage market rates got pulled. So I'm there trying to make sure that everything I'd already spoken to clients about was secured and in place, so that if they did pull those rates, we were okay, kind of thing. And so it just kind of shows that the mortgage market is made up of so many things and there's so many different influences to it. So if you've got any sort of questions or concerns or anything else, speak to me, more than happy to help. Clara Downton Mortgages and Financial Services.
Thank you, Clara. Scott, you're followed by Sylvia.
Good morning, it's Scott from SEO. I was sitting here thinking, what on earth am I going to talk about in 60 seconds today? And then I realised that there's a map in front of me that was used at the weekend. And I thought, surely I can talk about my map or the metaphor of your navigation around your website, your understanding of the internet and how all that stuff works for you. So if you've got no idea how important your robots.txt is, or your LLMS.txt file is, if you don't know the difference between index or no index, or what following or no following does, or what time to first byte is, or your first content pane, or any of that stuff that you probably don't actually need to know, you just need to know someone like me, who is your navigator, to steer your business the right direction, the right way in the world of the web, and to make sure everything is working and pointing you where you should be pointed. Talk to me about it, I'll help you. Ask the navigator.
Thanks, Scott. Sylvia, that's your followed.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Sylvia. I'm running S&P, it's a commercial specialist cleaning services company. So I would like to say about a job we've done 2 weeks ago. It was entertainment cleaning in Port George by estate agents. So the property was in really bad state, and they asked us to go and clean it. So we spent all day doing the cleaning. And on the next day, the agency checked the property, and I just want to read the email I got from them. So Charlie saying, I just wanted to pass on both ours and the landlord's feedback with regards to the cleaning conducted at 41 The Mountains. We were pleasantly surprised at how true the opinion was and want to pass on our thanks as the property is now in great condition to be marketed, which we wasn't sure would be the case when we sold the property pre-clean. It's really difficult to stand out when the property is in really good condition, but when it's in really bad state, it's where we can actually show our expertise. Thank you so much.
So Matt, you're followed by
Good morning everyone, I'm Matt from Blue Serif. As you know, we do a variety of discovery sessions, and one of our long-time clients at Sony has been made redundant. She's a senior manager, senior marketing manager, and she's setting up her own business. And so we did a discovery session with her, and we were talking about, and she's got a personality, but she's also obviously worked for many years in a very heavily corporate environment. And she wanted something that reflects, her. And we were sort of talking about things, and she came up. Well, there's this sort of creature that the family really love, and and I've never heard it. An axolotl. Anyone heard of axolotl? Well, she's come up now. We've come up with, on the basis of that, axolotl marketing, which is her brand, and we've come up with this really great, fun, vibrant, but sort of tech-focused. Little character and brands that represents her is sort of embedded in sort of the ethos, but also the axolotl is all about adaptation and evolving, and that's what she was, some of her core parts of her messaging. So I've overrun. Anyway.
Thank you, Matt. Dave, you're next, and you're followed by the lady who lived a half century.
Morning everybody, Dave from Brentwood. You probably heard me talk about electrical testing and all that sort of stuff over the weeks. Part of the thing we do when we do testing is we look at the smoke alarms. And this week something happened that really brought everything into focus. So this is a smoke alarm we found in the property. There's a date code on the back. It's 30 years old. So you're obviously it's not going to work after 30 years. So they only last 10 years. They should be replaced after 10 years. So that was the first thing. And then about 2 days later, my sister rang up. She had a phone catch fire in her bedroom. So fortunately, she had smoke alarms at work, and she was sitting downstairs, just smoked the smoke, and the alarms went off. And this is a Google Pixel phone, and it just caught fire in the bedroom. Fortunately, it was on a glass table, so there was no major damage, but it'd been on the bedside cabinet. So if you want your smoke alarm checked, you want come around, check them over, and you're cool. Thank you.
Thanks, Derek. I'll go back and check mine. I think that was interesting. Leanne, you're followed by John Hammond.
Good morning, everybody. Following the Synergy meeting last week and trying to make things interesting, because you know what I do, but you don't know how I do it. I don't know whether you've ever seen the programme Your Home Made Perfect. Well, they put VR goggles on the clients and they take the furniture out of the room and put it all back in. That's how my brain works with clients. When they're talking to me and they're giving me the ideas, excuse me, my brain's already putting things in, putting colours, blah, blah, blah. But it's getting that across to the client. How do I explain to the client, other than the 3D visuals, it's with samples. It's putting together, maybe starting with a sofa and a colour, but then it's putting together the flooring, maybe some cushions, some curtains, the colour of the wall, edging for maybe some cushion covers just to make it look a little bit special, not something that you can buy from your high street stores, making them unique for my clients, and that's what I do. Leanne Brooklyn Interiors.
Thank you, Leanne. John, you're followed. You.
Good morning, everybody. As you know by now, we promote sort of highly intelligent access control systems, CCTV systems, and barriers, and they all report back to us when there's faults. Well, 3 months ago, we told the client that their CCTV system had fell offline, and they said they'll get it sorted, all that's down. Yesterday, we went out to site because they said they've got no recordings of some parcels being stolen, and all the hard drives are failed. And now they want to know why it hasn't emailed us to say the hard drives are failing, because their broadband's been offline for 3 months. So it doesn't matter how intelligent our system is. If the client doesn't do anything about the faults that have been brought to them, it doesn't do anything. So now we've got to get all the hard drives replaced, and they're going to get the company back in to have a look at the broadband. And we did try and get him to do it, but he tells us they can't do it because it's already occupied by a different broadband provider. They do the building. So you've got to have a good service. So that's me from JMA Technology, trying to apply technology to security.
Thank you, John. Paul to you, it's followed by me. Paul.
Thanks, Paddy. Good morning, everyone. Paul Blue, Essex Celebrants, helping you celebrate and commemorate life's important milestones. If you've ever listened to Desert Island Discs on Radio 4, it's been going on for about 60, 70 years, where a person chooses 7 songs of a luxury item. You probably finished listening to that, thought, oh, what might 7 songs be? And then you spend a few hours with, oh no, not that one, or maybe that one, I like that one. We'll leave the luxury item out for the time being. What people don't do, though, is spend much time ever thinking about their funeral. But the reality is, you're more likely, well, you're definitely going to die. You're unlikely to be on Desert Island Discs. I mentioned last week a questionnaire I've developed, which allows you to fill in the details of what you would love to happen at your funeral. And it gives your loved ones a clear sense of your wishes. And it's a real act of love and consideration. If you'd like a copy, let me know. It's going to be added to the EDF website soon. I've got paper copies here. That's me, Paul Blue, Essex Celebrants, helping people celebrate, commemorate life's important milestones. Thank you.
Thank you, Paul. Good, Lord. Aidan Squire from TM Law. Yesterday I saw a client whose company is selling a mixed residential and commercial process, selling the freehold and taking a lease back of the upstairs. It's going to be a 999-year lease of a self-contained area. And I'm working on this with Paul because it's tax considerations that drive what we're doing and why we're doing it. So I now have to provide a suitable lease. I've been through it with him, and that's the next step. That's the sort of thing I do. And I liaise with accountants like Paul in order to get the most out of the advice that he gives. That's David Squire from TM Law. And Paul, that's an introduction for you.
Yes, seeing Catherine's breast reminded me that once I wore a dress to EBF. About 15 years ago, I think it was 2 of us. It was for charity, it wasn't for choice. I don't know who else it was. I think it might be either Howard or Swin Carmichael Brown. Anyway, yeah, I took on a new client in a week, not that registered. What I used to do is just send his bank statement to the accountant, and the accountant will just manually write up the bank statements onto some spreadsheets, which is very, very much old hat. So he's now a new client. We're going to log into online banking. He's going to export the transactions to Excel or a CSV file, and then we can easily manipulate those transactions, taking about 2 or 3 hours, whereas the accountant would have taken probably 15 hours and possibly mistakes. So looking for any people who that's who they do their stuff. A bit old-fashioned, very expensive. Full booth and boom clothing, nice tax. Much more.
Paul,
really random.
I was for a press comedian.
Right.
I'm slightly offended that he saw me and remembered what
Let's get on with the Oscars so that we everything. I'm glad you've all been listening. Brilliant. Jane.
That was a great round. I mean, I'm loving hearing about Sylvia's testimonial from the client. It shows what a great job you did. Joshua, House of Commons, charities, that's really brilliant. Mike, I love the way you were specific. Golf venues, wedding venues, well done. Stuart, you're bad back because you were calling. Hello.
It's not a bit of sunlight.
All right. Up there. And Leanne, VR goggles, props. We love a prop. However, today, you know when you mentioned earlier, you're not going to win it, don't you? Today, as a means of getting your kids to do their homework, it's genius.
Jane, thank you very much indeed. Blake, congratulations, well done. Right, we move on, and moving on from the 62nd round, as always, is Scott, the meeting secretary report, please.
Rightio. 13 of those, and this much totals, I think, about £15,000 worth of new business. So when you add that onto the £47,000 we've recorded so far this month, well done. That's a nice big whopping amount of business we've shared. Thank you very much indeed.
Well done, Scott. Thank you very much indeed. Have we got any synergy team meetings coming up?
There is supposed to be one next week,
Right.
but I'm not going to be here, so it'll be the week after. So that would be the problem.
There you go, from there. Right. Ben normally at this stage introduces the 10-minute presentation. And I'm standing in front of you. You will have seen his emails. Keep your eyes open for his emails as to the order of players, to who's doing what and when they're doing it. This week, our presenter, okay, go on, guess. His gravestone would have, well, less of a gravestone request, more a grave request. Can I have an extra long plot? Otherwise, like, if I can only get my knees or my shoulders in.
Like a bath.
Not both. When you go for cremation, it simplifies it actually.
That is true.
Talk to him about it. TV recommendation. Small Profits on the BBC.
Absolutely.
From the makers of The Protectress. They're wholesome.
I'm only 3 episodes in this, so don't spoil it.
Oh, right.
We watch. I'm all for anything wholesome. So is Mike. And he's from Blackwater Media.
3.
And he founded it 5 years ago, but he's going to tell you all that. Mike, you're off.
I know I was only giving me a certificate last week, but. Morning everyone, Mike from Blackwater Media. As some of you all know, I do photography, videography and drone content for businesses and events. So we're going, nowhere at the moment, that one doesn't work. Okay, we'll do the old fashioned one. He says, there you go. Blake?
Paul's got some spreadsheets that are old-fashioned.
Oh, I know what's going on there.
Oh, that's good.
It's when you leave it at the last slide when you're practicing, isn't it? Rookie error. When did the 10 minutes start? So yeah, I'm basically very quickly just going to run through some of the services I offer, some of the options that I make available for different businesses. The aim isn't to list everything I do because that's such sort of a wide spread, but it's just to recognise how businesses can benefit from better video. So we're going to start off on the video side of things. Business overviews or walkthroughs. These are kind of the big banner at the top of your screen, the main video you've got on your page, the first thing we want people to click out or see. If someone gets to your website and doesn't know what your business does within 5 to 7 seconds of looking at it, you need something like this to explain it to them. These are the real sort of the hero videos that summarise your whole business. They show your premises, they show your team, they show the customers what you do, how you do it, and what marks you out from other companies that are similar. And they build familiarity with clients before you've actually met face to face. There's some examples here. In the top left is some work I did with Colchester Kawasaki. They had a really big premier sort of dealership in Colchester, and a member of staff there who was just naturally fantastic on camera said to him would be happy to talk. You just walked through the store, followed him with the camera, chatted about what they do, all the different things they had in there, and whatever he mentioned, we filmed some B-roll of, put it together into sort of an opening video package. Then moving on to product demonstrations. Again, if you've got any products or services, videos are great for letting people know how to get the best use out of them. This can include, demonstrating literally how to use them, kind of like an instruction manual, but in video form. It can show the testing and development that's gone into the product and the background behind it, and also some of the real-world applications. And there's a couple of the guys from here know these were from a company Znova we all did a bit of work with. They do fire safety sort of products. First of all, we did a lot of work with the fire brigade that was actually doing the testing and showing the demonstrations of the products. Those videos were aimed at investors and marketing going out to try and build the company. When that got further through, we then created a series of adverts that went onto went onto their Amazon pages. So if you look up their fire extinguishers on Amazon, these videos are still on there, basically demonstrating different uses for the product. These ones you've all seen before in many forms on TV, and that's just your standard sort of interviews and talking heads. They work really well for explaining frequently asked questions people might always come to you with, explaining some of your more complicated services in detail, you can break things down. Just more insights into the business people might not pick up from just scanning through your website. And also fantastic for testimonials. If you've got customers and clients that you've had for a long while, you get on well with, and they're happy to sit down in front of the camera, rather than just having a quote on your page from John Smith saying, these guys are great, you've actually got a real person with a real face sitting there explaining why they like you so much. This was for an investment firm, and basically they were trying to sort of cover the complexities of international trading and investment on their website without going completely over everyone's heads. So they did these videos just to become more of an approachable expert sort of feel rather than a faceless financial institute. And speakers and conferences. So one way to think about it is if you're doing a public talk and you're not recording it, you're potentially wasting loads of good content and marketing for down the line. The type of things that I cover are business talks and training groups. That can be anything from like the more formal business talks, so things like first aid groups. You can record it and then you can make use of that content afterwards. Corporate events and also smaller conferences. Sort of things with 1 or 2 stages. I'm not geared up to deal with huge international conferences, although I have recently been doing some work with companies that do that sort of thing, which has been great. But yeah, if you've got sort of 1 speak or 1 stage going on, I can cover all of that, as well as then cut it up and make it into shorter videos that they can use afterwards. Moving on to nowhere. There we go, the photography side of things. Business photo shoots. I mean, this cover again, all different types of areas. You'll recognise some of the people and bits of it. Professional business photography. It shows your real staff off. It shows off, again, your real environments, the real clients that come in to see you. And it shows off the personality of your business. As an example, the bottom right one is the company I've done a fair amount of work for, which is Mulligan's Golf Courses, and also London Bunkers, which is sort of high street indoor golf pens. And yeah, we close the place down for the day effectively. Some of the managers invite their friends and family in to be good models. They get free passes to use everything for the day in the arcades. And we get to follow them around with cameras and videos and just say, can you just pose for that for us? Can you do this one again? And get really nice marketing shots out of that. Generally, we do about a day for them once every 6 months, and that gives them so much content to all their socials for the next 6-month period. Headshots, again, you all know what they are, everyone uses them, but they're not just LinkedIn pictures, they're really important in shaping how your whole company is perceived. Before we do headshots or anything like that, we sit down and talk to people and say, what's the ethos of the company, who are you aiming at, who's your target market, and we try and aim all the shoots towards that type of thing. So you can get like clean corporate type headshots, but you can also just get in the office, in natural environments where people are working. If it's builders out on site, that works better than them in front of all that background. And also for team-based images, you can get again more formal ones, or you can just get everyone into a room, bring some props in, mess around, and it just gives much more natural, inviting feel than everyone just standing there staring at the camera. So any companies that their About Us page is just looking a bit tired or dated, it's a really good step, just updating headshots, making them relevant. And also a lot of companies turn over staff, so you just need to keep them up to date every year or so. Product shoots can come in all different forms. Sometimes we do sort of quite lifestyle-based things, which is the products being used in real-world environment, in their homes, in their actual applications. Sometimes it's more stylised things, like imagine your Nike advert that's just a trainer splashing through a puddle. It doesn't need to show the whole product, it just needs to show the sort of feeling of what you're trying to get across. And also we do things like the clean catalogue and things like that. And that was shot for, I don't know if you remember Mason, that used to do their cleaning work here. And he's got a side business doing mobility scooters. And they just wanted to clean catalogue shots to go to their website, and the real sort of front, left, right, back, top, broken down, all the different parts that come with it. And that was shot in his warehouse, surrounded by a load of cleaning equipment on a concrete floor in a really dark little room. And so what we did, we took in some white flooring, put up backdrops around it, put a load of lighting in, and got those really sort of clean professional images. And finally, drones. Around this section, drones, they cover both photography and the video side of things. As you can imagine, they're super helpful for property sales, also location shoots for businesses, and as I was mentioning earlier, things like golf courses benefit really well from this because they just look stunning from the air. developer projects like ones at the bottom there. There were some buildings that were being reclad in London, and they just wanted before and after photos showing the difference of the work that had been done. Team photos, you might recognise that chap in the middle there. It just gives a different aspect rather than everyone staying at the level. You bring a drone into it, but just makes it stand out and make it something slightly different. And also, I've mentioned before here, roof surveys for retail parks and bigger areas. They were going to scaffold the entire way around those buildings there, which was going to take about 2 weeks, cost tens of thousands, and close their car parks for 2 weeks. We went in for less than £1,000, flew the drone over it for half a day, found some problem areas, went, okay, there's an issue there, there's an issue in that corner there, so you only need to scaffold those corners, you don't need to do the whole building, you can keep all the car parks open. So it saved them a huge amount of money. A couple of little other sort of side services we offer. Perhaps not here today, but these are all for Harris Brothers Company, who I've been working on for about 3 or 4 years now, and they install swimming pools. And because they're scattered all over the country, quite often what they would do is either their team that install the pools or the clients that happen with it afterwards, they'll just get some footage on their phones or whatever cameras they've got, send it to him, which if you just post it directly, it's just a phone clip with no context or anything like that. He still sends them all over to me, we put some graphics on it, we put fonts on it, and just put it together into a video with a bit of music. It's not my favourite way of working just because you haven't got control of what you're working with. Sometimes the stuff you get sent is a bit crap, other times it's really high quality, and you just have to go with it for a bit, but it's always better than just posting plain wobbly old phone clips. And the final one to cover is subtitling. It's another service we offer. So that's an interesting one because it's changed quite a lot over the last few years because AI is basically built into everything and can do it really, really well. If you put a video up on YouTube, you automatically get subtitles, same with a lot of the basic video editing programs. And 95% of the time they are plenty good enough. You know, you can read through it, it might be the odd word that's wrong, things like that, but it gets everything you need to. But if you're spending a decent bit of money and you're making a proper video and you're putting it up on your website, it's going to be there for the long term, or you're doing like training videos or tutorial videos that are getting passed around, it just doesn't look that professional. It's all Americanized spellings, some of the grammar's not right, things like that. So I've got a service that we use for subtitling. Everything's done by real people and that. They can do English style, American style, or translate into any other language people want. And I've used them for years. It's surprisingly cheap and quick, and they just don't make any mistakes. Like every comma's in the right place and things like that. So it's really worth the investment. Sort of longer term projects that you can like. So that is a very quick once over of all the type of things that I offer. I guess the main question is, what am I looking for from you guys, which is why we're here in one form or another. And the short and obvious answer is, I'm after new clients. And the reason being for that is because I work in so many different industries and that, but most of my work is quite sort of short-term projects. It tends to be 1 or 2 days on site, 1 or 2 days editing. So in an ideal world, I'm looking for 2 to 3 shoots a week. In a realistic world, at least 1 to 2 a week to sort of keep business running. And that's just quite a lot of turnover in people. Obviously, it's great when you come back and you work with the same companies over and over, but I just need to meet new people quite a lot of the time. So if you know any businesses that have outdated website media, they use stock imagery when they could be using real photos, they just struggle to explain what they do in some of their sectors or services, or they just need generally strong marketing visuals and it's all looking a bit tired and outdated, please pass my details on. Thank you very much.
Hey. No, it's easy for you. You mentioned B-roll. I don't want that.
B-roll is, imagine you're saying, we're here at Essex Business Forum, we have a lovely breakfast every week. We cut to a shop with a lovely breakfast.
Yes.
That's B-roll. It's the sort of the images that we take to back up what's being spoken about.
Thank you.
Could be bread roll, but it's.
So with the golf clients, potential golf content you're looking for,
yep.
Is there, what sort of things or people are you looking at? Is there a particular interest that you have, or are you just looking at
To be honest, I find because a lot of the golf courses, well, A, they're quite old and established, and B, they work a lot on just people knowing they're there because it's a community now. A lot of the golf course websites can look pretty tired and old and very sort of 90s thousands. They've got a little scroll down screen, some naff shots they probably got off an aeroplane in the 80s or something like that. And I think a lot of it just needs to catch up to the modern world a bit because they've got these stunning, a lot that you go into, they've got really nice restaurants, really nice cafes, and they're not showing it off that well. So yeah, I'm kind of looking for the people either in charge of running the grounds and things like that, maybe go walk around and show why their golf course is so good, or just the actual managers of the sites that maybe trying to push them more, get people along, but get conferences in there, bring other investors in and show them off their facilities. Just make it all look nice.
And hopefully I'll have some referrals to you then.
Oh, amazing. Thank you very much.
It's kind of retained package. Is there anything that you do where you might have X number of hours per month, week, or
To
year?
be honest, it's something I keep sort of looking at pushing to and things like that, but it's not something I do that much. I always offer sort of probably about a 20% discount on the normal costings if you booked in for like a 6-month period, but we could organise that case by case, whether you want content once a month, once every 3 months. But it varies so much depending on what people want and the pricing of it. It's quite difficult for me to have a set package because photography might be hugely different to basic video, which is hugely different to a more complex video.
But you could work that through on
Yeah,
a client basis if they...
Yes, yeah. I just sit down and talk to people about what they need to handle.
How do you take photos of yourself? How do you do your own corporate photography? Do you like set it up and then run round and stand ready?
Not when the staff will say, No, generally I work with photographers who get bigger jobs coming and things like that. We have 2 or 3 of us on site, and it's kind of a bit of a unwritten rule, but everyone helps themselves out. So look cool doing that over there, and we take photos of each other. Yeah.
How long does your drone fly for on the charge?
It does about 25 minutes, and then I've got 4 batteries for it, so you can get roughly a couple of hours just under. But realistically, most drone jobs that I'm done within an hour. You can get a hell of a lot of images flying around one thing for an hour or something. They're quite nice jobs generally because you're in and out and don't have to deal with too many people.
Mike,
Very
thank you very much indeed. Well done. Yeah, Mike, yes, if we sit and watch a lot of these from time to time, that is how you use the tailoring to best effect. I mean, I now know what you do, how you do it, and the areas that you cover, as if I had the details one-to-one with you. Absolutely brilliant. Well done. Thank you. Good. Right. Whilst you're on your feet, we'll let's do the referrals and testimonials. Let's be different. Let's start with, instead of the northern call, let's start with blue call. Yes.
Hello. Catherine, thank you for starting us down. I always enjoy your introductions. Well done. Very good. Yes, nice and clear, great visuals, of course. And so you are a kind of person that helps visually explain what the company's doing, and that's hugely important. So I'm thrilled about it. We always like to be doing what helps us with. Leanne, thank you for the money. Thank you. Sally Waters, one-to-one and the social. Tall Paul, one-to-one, and my synergy meeting. Thank you very much.
Yeah, the work you did for me has been absolutely brilliant, and that really does show the sort of different aspects. You know, you came to the house, you did sort of the videos with us, and then sort of headshots and all the rest of it, and it really does make a really big difference to kind of the company as well as everything. So yeah, really appreciate that. It's brilliant. Thank you for the money to Leanne. And yeah, brilliant meeting, excellent as well. And yeah, we'll see you again next week.
I can't remember what I've done. Well, loads of social actually. We had a lovely walk, didn't we? The various members scattered around, starting our training. And yeah, 8 miles was alright with 2 pub stops, wasn't it? So obviously, you thought you'd be fine. Yeah. And thank you for managing.
Oh, brilliant. Thank you.
Good. I can't remember if there's any more exciting things that I wrote down there. Paul D, can I speak to you for a couple of minutes afterwards?
Yep.
And yeah, I was at the synergy meeting last week. That's it.
Thanks for the answer. I can never tell if when my kids go, I told you this yesterday, whether I just wasn't listening or I heard it and forgot.
Oh, I know.
So, yeah, I blame both to get to the same thing. Great 10 minutes, Mike. Finally made it to one of your 10 minutes. Really interesting, and I'm always trying to find ways to play into businesses and things like that, so I do try to do that. And the only thing I have is for our Brixton week, which you've got to get last week, which I don't remember the end of. Anyway, have a lovely week, everybody. See you next week.
Well,
Thanks everyone for your birthday wishes. Great head start, thank you. Helping mine as well. Great to meet. I think you're great. I do know someone at Moving Home for John, so I can speak to them. I've got to speak to them anyway. I can't put your name down for that. James Synergy meeting. One from Joshua. Really interesting. And one from Zoom. Thank you. I'm not here next week, but I'll see you the week after.
Yeah, great. Great head start. One of the things I've found with talking to people is actually trying to put their names in. So I have a list of names on their paper and then just drop them in conversation about it, and it makes them listen for brilliant 10 minutes. I've got a thank you to the money for Stuart. I wish I could have got to use that site, but they said they got a special deal with City Fibre, and that's got thank you to the money for Paul on it as well. And I can't say enough about smoke detectors. When we had an extension, we had to have fire doors on all our bedrooms. But you only got smoke detectors on the landing. So if you've got fire in one of the bedrooms, when do you know? When the house is totally burnt down. So get smoke detectors fitted everywhere, just so different.
It's really interesting. There's loads of things you do that I had no idea that you did. So, yeah. I've got a referral for Paul, who's not here. Boiler is the gift that keeps on giving to him, not us, obviously. And a synergy meeting with Jane last week.
Oh, well done on that, sorry.
Oh, thank you. Great. Have a good week, everyone.
Thank you.
Yeah, excellent. Excellent. Cafe was it was so good that I do apologise for my crap bell ringing. I was so focused and listening to everybody that I forgot to let it pop. Yeah, great 10 minutes, Mike. As Aidan said, it's just you really set out exactly what you do, so it's really good. You mentioned golf courses. Did you meet Kristen Dean yesterday that had the golf simulator?
I have met him briefly before. I didn't have a chat to him.
He's got golf courses he's a Sparky.
Yes,
He works with a lot of golf courses.
Yeah, I did have to talk to him about work. Funny enough, I actually passed him myself and I saw him now.
There you go.
For different reasons. But
Don't need that one. Sorry. Yeah, a referral to John and Blake. But interestingly enough, the company that bought Mike Hickson's old company is a company called Sprint Technology, and they now work out of Mike Hickson's old office. And I just connected John and Blake yesterday with them for intercom stuff. Yeah. Yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
It's like one,
Sorry, you. That's it. Mike, David Hatnell.
Oh yes, yeah.
Tender assistance.
Thank you.
And the same referral to Sylvia for public sector tendering, and a great social with walk with Scott, Matt, Paul, and Mike. And also just from me, a real heartfelt thanks for all the messages, support, and your thoughts over the last couple of weeks. Thank you.
Well, Tina.
Yeah.
Yes, you are. Go on, stand up.
Right, did you enjoy it?
Nice. It's nice to come back and see everybody. See some new faces.
Nice to see you. I've said how good it was, and it was good. Timely head slot, all take note, and I'm glad. Thanks for the money. Paul, one of your clients that you referred to. Paul. Yeah, there's only two to choose from today, but yeah, it's Paul. Thank you very much.
Fantastic presentation. I love working with both Mike and Matt. They transform my projects when I work with them. But yours really bring projects to life. So we've done lots. Look forward to doing more. Smoke alarms, for goodness sake. When I moved house, I moved in and checked my smoke alarms. Still had flashing red lights on. And then we had a fire, and I only found out after 5 of my smoke alarms in the house didn't work, and my house was full of smoke. We woke up. The most scary moment of my life. Check your smoke alarms. JMH have obviously fixed them all and changed all of the ones that didn't work.
Dave, better for you, give us these.
Yes. Show me the monies. Paul Delone, thank you very much. Toby, thank you very much. Ex-member David Plumley, thank you especially very much. Howard isn't here, thank you very much. Put that where you want it. This one's easy. Matt, thank you very much. Matt, thank you very much. Thank you very much. Matt, thank you very much.
You didn't write it out 4 times.
Yeah, great 10 minutes, Mike. You did airsoft photos now, when they're here. We need to do some more, we need to get updated this now. We've got some new members now, we've got Tyler in it. Great instruct. I do try and make eye contact with people.
Usually me.
So I just think, yeah, the whole room at the same time. I have a synergy meeting for Jane. And thank you for the money for the teapot.
Oh.
See you next week.
Brilliant 10 minutes. I've worked with Mike on a few things before, and he is absolute calmness personified. It's just puts clients at ease, and just things go wrong, and it's just super calm. So yeah, can't recommend him highly enough. Great insight. Really important part of what I do. It's interesting when you do this properly. Quite often, you hear things that people don't really realise they've actually mentioned. They're so focused on the bigger words that the other stuff. So, okay, and you pick up this. It's fascinating. As mentioned before, went for a walk with Mike, Scott, Matt, and Toby on Sunday, which was brilliant.
I was doing it Saturday, but
Oh, it was Saturday. You started Saturday, finished Sunday. There's a referral from Matt. Social media template stuff. There's a referral for Matt Fulcrum. There's a referral from Mike and Blake.
Oh, right.
The video with AI type of stuff.
Blake goes back 2 months after.
There's a referral for Blake, which is creating an AI education session on what's available and how that stuff could be used. Hopefully follow the sessions on each individual thing. And then just if anyone knows a graffiti artist or anybody involved with artificial grass, the school that I'm a governor of, we're creating a special educational needs hub. The building's being converted, lots of money, lots of effort. But the outside space needs some love and care. And we haven't actually got the money, but welcome to have a chat.
I've got some easy grass.
But specifically graffiti art or young art students that are into street art, or whatever, because there's a wall that's probably.
The guy who does the Spread Eagle.
Okay.
I think it's called Tom Darko or something like that.
Brilliant. Anyway, thank you everyone. Brilliant.
Catherine, good airstop there. Thank you. Mike, I know someone who's got a company that does conferences and stuff like that. Like big conferences.
Yes.
I'll have words that I can do in trying to them. I won't do referrals of mine, but just do it. And I just got a thank you to Jane. Thank you, Jane.
Thank you.
See you next week.
Especially the benefits for your clients makes me think like how we can make my business look very professional, because I'm getting in the commercial sector and this is really difficult to present myself after so many years in the domestic sector. I'll be in touch when we get big projects completely. There is one referral for Adam. I spoke with him. I'll send you all the information. And there is I have one with Leon. Amazing program. Thank you so much. Thank you. Great. Thanks so much, everyone.
Great. Minute. I obviously have the pleasure of working with you. Yes, yeah, and there will be other stuff.
That forced you to get on camera,
Yeah, I know. So now I've got the pleasure. And great, Catherine, really interesting stuff. And also on the writing end, you do the writing work. I'm sort of trying to there'll be a few case studies that I'll need done over the summer. Thank you. But yeah, had a great one-to-one. So great, we finished at 2.5 hours talking, lost track of time. So yeah, had a one-to-one. Yeah. And then out of the one-to-one, when the one-to-one you discussed that you wanted to be affiliated with the British Institute of Interior Designers. And as a chartered architect, I work with a lot of those, so I've connected you with one, so that's another.
Thank you.
I'm just going to make you go.
No, that's fine. Yeah.
And another thing, so as some of you may know, I work with a lot of high-end clients because I was trained in the high-end space. And so, got a great project that Leanne is assisting me on in Hertfordshire. So there we go. And I think I will be here next week, hopefully. And great to see everyone. And it's great for me to be more comfortable in myself and back in this network.
Well done,
Not really subjective. I am guilty of being distracted far too easily by various different things. And quite often I do this. This is my.
That's fine. That's a fidget toy.
There's lots of other fidgeting that
God.
Other things for the moment, Stuart. Mike, excellent 10 minutes. Obviously, I think pretty much every slide there was something that we've been involved in.
No, I was going to actually look through it.
Not that stuff to do. You are equally at ease with a gaggle of orthodontic nurses as burning fires. You are brilliant, as Paul says, not only behind the camera but in front of the camera and helping assist, whoever the subject matter is, whatever it is. You're really, really good. So, I'll be planning for all the projects. Lovely to see you all.
I prefer going first. You get to the end, everyone's said it.
We have that every week.
Mike, I love watching your stuff. So fascinating, so much more interesting than 7 IT.
You were holding the phone out the window last time.
Yes, but thank you, Mike. It's amazing.
Yeah, good Esra. Thank you, Catherine, and really good presentation. Thank you. Yeah, didn't drone on too much. Fell for Howard, which knows about taking money for maths. Good meeting.
Right, Mike, don't sit down yet. One more task.
2 more tasks.
One more.
From Alderloo. Woo!
Yeah.
You guys are right.
Oh,
It's a headshot.
Good morning.
Following on, we're bringing back the referral reality check. So it's a paper part of last week's meeting. First is from Stuart to Dave. Dean Courtney car charger.
Yeah, we're doing it tomorrow.
Fabulous. From Jane to Leanne. Durden something estate opening.
Yeah, I'm really in touch with them.
Sorry?
I'm really in touch with them.
Excellent, excellent, okay. From Mike to Paul C, that lady boiler. You know what's that?
Well, no, what happened, yeah, she found someone else, but I think it moved to referral through another networking group, but yeah, she went with someone more local.
Fair enough.
Right. Well done, Mike. Thanks for doing the running and everything else. I've been visiting an orthodontist, a certain orthodontist, and I've seen examples of your work since you got there. As I was sitting nervously waiting to go in, it didn't help at all. Can I throw the floor over to anybody who wants to make any announcements? In that case, given your silence, I'm going to send you on your way, but before I send you on your way, I'd just like a little metaphor for EBF. From the house of Pooh Corner. Wherever I am, there's always Pooh in me. What would I do, I said to Pooh, if it wasn't for you? And Pooh said, true. It isn't much fun for one, but two can stick together, says Pooh, says he. That's how it is, says Pooh. That's EBF. Thank you.